Well, well, well. Look who came crawling back. Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's me. I'm here. I'm alive. Adam Pecora, and you are tuned in to Requiem for a Tuesday. Still a show. Hello. Hi. First episode in 8 weeks? Couple months? 3 months here? Everybody survived, it seems. We're all good. Took a little breather. That extended a little longer than I had planned, but hey, what can I say? You know, sometimes you just get lost in the sauce, as they say. So yeah, RFAT's here. It's queer. Get used to it. We're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. Couple updates for you. May or may not. Either way, honestly, this could become more of a little bi-weekly phenomenon going forward. We'll see about that. You know, I still could be here every Tuesday screaming to nobody about nothing all the time. That could totally happen, but it may be 1 week. Not on, back the next, whatever, maybe a little more sporadic in that staggerization process, however you may put it. So, yeah, just a heads up there. And the second bit of news, to supplement the less frequent voice recordings. You know, sometimes you see something and you're like, I got a little bit to say. Then you hop on the pod and you think it's going to be, 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Really eat up a lot of the show, and then it's 3 minutes in and you're like, well, I'm out of things to say. So I created champagnevideo.substack.com. That will be the written publication piece of this Requiem for a Tuesday podcast. So as I always say, check out all the links in the description below. The main link, linktree/RFAT, now includes a link to that Substack. No posts on there yet as of me recording this episode, but now that the podcast is back, going to start publishing to that as well. Bigger topics, smaller topics, mostly smaller topics. But, maybe I'll do just a straight up movie review on there. Maybe I see something and I go, I got to write this up. I don't know. I don't really know entirely what it's going to be. Hopefully some other people that you've listened to on this program will join me in writing some pieces. I don't really know. I'm not in any rush with that. But if you want to subscribe or whatever, that would be cool. Just as you should rate, review, and subscribe to this show. Once again, check out all the links in the description. And we're back. RFAT has returned. I'm excited to do some writing for that stuff. So, for example, right, this episode, I thought maybe I'd get the Accountant 2 in here. Didn't get it in here. Is it really going to be that worthy? I don't know. This is going to be a little more of a fragmented type of deal to begin with. So I thought that would fit in nicely. However, didn't make it. So maybe that would be a nice little, we're going to give this a little 69 out of 100 or whatever the fuck. I'd probably do it out of 10, but it doesn't matter. Champagne video. Check it out. All right. So what has been going on out in the world since Big Daddy Adam last spoke to you? I don't really know. What do we got? Sinners, Ryan Coogler. Man, that guy can make a movie. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, Jesus. When I first saw the trailer for that, I thought, this seems like whatever. I can skip it. But then as the lead up came in, the reputation just started growing. Oh, man, this is a great fucking flick. I figure, oh, boy, I got to check it out. Then sure enough, not even able to see it in IMAX. People are so down. Tickets in advance had the thing sold out. So didn't make the IMAX, but saw it standard, and it was pretty damn good. You know, the pacing's a little weird. I wouldn't consider it some type of like masterpiece, but just a very good movie that I would certainly watch again, with some fantastic blues music and a great score by your boy Ludwig. The man has been on a tear for ever, really, ever since Community. Just been crushing. Anyway, Michael B. Jordan, you know, like we know, all the things, can act his ass off. There's this wild transcendent scene in the middle where the blues music like freezes time and morphs time, and it like turns into all the different genres of music people know and love to this day. Isn't it beautiful to show the influence in real time? Isn't it beautiful? And that was pretty cool. You know, I was high, so that was fun. I was like, holy shit, this is nuts. As far as the vampires themselves, I don't know. It was a little lacking in action and a very minor part of the story, but somehow that didn't matter and it didn't make me less entertained. And I mean, you think about it, I don't know. There's plenty of examples where like you watch Halloween, like technically nobody dies for like the first hour or whatever it is. At least like the action doesn't really begin. You know, there's plenty of examples in which that's fine. But I don't know. I guess I didn't know what my expectations were to be for the movie. And you kind of like want more, but isn't that ideal than being like, that was not good? I'm exhausted of that. Never again. So I don't know. We'll see. Test of time style, but solid flick, Sinners. Shout out Ryan Coogler. What a movie. What else? Two movies that weren't very good. A Working Man with what's your boy Baldy McShane, Jason Statham, the British Armed Forces agent. I'll fucking kill you, governor. Yeah, terrible. It was set in Chicago for no real reason at all. He's like a construction guy who used to be special ops. Somebody takes his boss's daughter and he kills 400 people. There's no cleverness. The action is very bland and boring and generic. There's nothing about it that stands out in any way, shape, or form. Whereas like, what was the Beekeeper, for example, very entertaining film. Absurd and ridiculous and over the top and nonsense, but that's what made it fun. This had nothing. This was like a grounded version of The Beekeeper with none of the fantastical twists or creative kills or anything like that at all. I have completely forgotten it pretty much already. Been like 2 weeks. So kind of what you'd expect, but like you'd think it's like, why do it if there's not going to be some type of hook? You know, there really was nothing to it at all. Like it was the most generic movie you could possibly surmise. The other one was that Rami Malek movie, The Amateur. Now this movie, like visually and stylistically, kind of elevates above that, kind of passes the test of being like, oh, this is a little bit more. This is a little more sophisticated. But it isn't. It focuses on all the wrong things. It focuses on like the character drama tension instead of him like avoiding the CIA and his enemies, tracking down his enemies. He just shows up in places like, oh, all right. And then he just kills them. The whole thing is like, he's a tech nerd. So all his kills are like these creative tech booby traps. They don't show him coming up with them or making them or implementing them. He just arrives at a place, has the device ready, kills the guy. And it's like, oh, but we'll show like 30 minutes of nonsense. And like he gets by on like no training. Should have been a little more training. It's just, the pacing is all weird and the focus is all the right stuff. And it's like, if you're checking boxes, it checks a lot of boxes. Other than like, was this a good entertaining movie? I don't really think so. It was boring. It was like, it was trying to be like, what if the tech nerd became Jason Bourne without the quality of Jason Bourne films. Those are great movies, and except the fourth one, but we all know that. And it just flat. It's just flat. Like, it's a hollow experience. It has the presence and appearance, whatever, of like a well-made, classy film, and it's not. It is not that. It is lazy and sad. I don't know if that's accurate. Whatever. I haven't done this in a while. Your boy's rusty. The White Lotus completely happened during the hiatus. What a fantastic season. You did kind of see. I definitely felt the sensation that everybody felt throughout the first 4 or 5 episodes, where you're like, nothing's really happening here. But see, it didn't bother me that was the case. I was still enjoying it and entertained, and I was sucked in, knowing that inevitably this is all going to hook around and interconnect somehow. It's almost like the longer they make you wait, sure, then the greater chance of it flopping, but it's also just like the more into it you are and the more shocking it is when it flips, because you really have no idea where it's going to go. And boy, do they always nail that. I obviously found it a little strange that, like, you're standing next to the guy who gets murdered, and then by the time you're on the boat, you're not even mentioning it. It's like little things like that, but ultimately, like, you could explain that away. You could tell me 6 hours went by. You could tell me we just didn't cut to them while they talked about it. Like, you know what I mean? There's all these easy explanations where it's like, just because the show didn't show you doesn't mean that it maybe did or did not happen. I thought it was fantastic. Now, it's hard to rank the seasons, frankly, because they all have different qualities that I like. Much as you can discuss different travel locations, there's pros and cons and such, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Continuing with HBO, well, I'm just rapid fire, ladies and gentlemen. I had about 15 cups of coffee. I'm a fucking million miles an hour right now. You have no idea who you're dealing with. You're dealing with a fucking menace. The rehearsal. Nathan Fielder is back and better than ever. The man is an absolute genius, and I lose my breath. My jaw is on the floor. Every episode of everything he's ever done, it feels like. I really have nothing to say other than like conceptually, I couldn't in a million years, with all the resources in the world, like, be on this guy's level. And that is truly what I appreciate. A guy really trying to do his own thing in a completely different way. And the fact that you can even tie together like an airport rehearsal, co-pilot communication thing with Canadian Idol, and make it hilarious, and then you get a guy to reveal that he's banned on all these apps, and you're like, this guy's flying fucking planes, like, what's going on? It's just unbelievable what the man can accomplish, how he's able to blend and bend reality with fiction, and you don't know what is real at any moment in time. I mean, you get a good idea, right? But can you ever really know? And it's beautiful that someone thank God for HBO. And thank God for Nathan Fielder is my point, I guess. Get back up the fucking truck for this guy. Anything he wants to do. That show with Safdie and Emma Stone was weird as shit, and I loved it. Nathan For You, of course, is all time on the Pantheon. I believe he has a film in the works with A24, which I'm sure means he's doing exactly whatever he wants, and I'm sure that'll be fucking insane. Yeah, I am just hooked on the rehearsal. The Last of Us is back as well. Listen, ultimately my beef, I didn't play the game. I knew that Joel was going to die. They had reported that they were going to stretch that out and not follow the game, because then the show would only be 2 seasons. And rumors were they're stretching out season 2, so it goes long, and then, Joel presumably dies early in season 3, whatever. It was basically how that was all worded out. That was a lie, apparently, or whatever. I don't know what the plan is moving forward. I guess we'll see. I imagine there's plenty of option for Pedro Pascal to exist in flashback form throughout the season, especially considering the 5-year gap to begin the show anyway. My whole beef is really just that, like, her beef isn't even about all the people that he murdered. It's just that one of them was her dad, to which she kills him in front of his de facto daughter. And just, like, it's completely ironic. She's just throwing a little tantrum. She won't shut the fuck up. And she acts like she's so tough. It's like you got a bunch of goons doing all the bidding for you. It's, like, really easy to talk a bunch of shit. And the guy literally saved your life. So that almost should, like, even it out in some way. I don't know if that part happens in the game. If it does, then, like, yeah, I don't know. I especially kind of don't really get it. Especially the torture factor. Like, to me, it was just, this is a bratty white woman. And we don't need this. She's acting all Karen about it. Like, just get the revenge. Just kill the guy right away. But no, you have to do it in this, like, obscene, ridiculous way that everybody hates and is annoyed by. And you're taking up a ton of time, resources. People are disgusted. They don't want to help. Like, why are they all listening to this bitch? So that's how I felt about that. She was just annoying. That's why when he was like, just shut the fuck up and do it already. I'm like, yeah, he's speaking for the audience here. Like, Jesus, lady. You're making this all about you. What about all the other people that got killed too? I mean, come on. And then in the end, like, they also didn't even know that she, like, had the cure. They didn't even get all the full information. I thought that it was also going to be related to that. No, they just let her go. So whatever. And now they're already in Seattle. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know what happens in the second game other than the Joel thing at the beginning. So to me, it seems like they're already about to wrap this whole fucking thing up. But I assume there's at least 8 episodes. So I don't know where this thing's going. But HBO, always the king. Always will be. So you think times are shaky and you're like, oh, they don't really have anything going on. Boom, they hit you with 3 or 4 right in a row. And you're like, yeah, everything's right. And this has happened seemingly my entire life. Like, I feel like there's always been lulls where it's like, oh, HBO is finally falling off. They're not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going anywhere. All right. And then I think for the last topic here, yeah, I know. I'm only doing a 30-minute one after such a time away. Isn't that such a little horror move of me? I'm going to tease you like that. But remember, champagnevideo.substack.com for new updates. I will be doing it. I promise. I'm going to actually do it. The Chicago Bears. NFL draft has come and gone. And it's unfortunate as I do this every year, because I have to do this every year, because the best quality the Chicago Bears have is boosting hope and morale every year. They're master manipulators of all the dumb fucks like me who live and die by this fucking team. And last year we knew Eberflus was wrong and keeping him was wrong, but Caleb was enough, and we had to talk ourselves into it, right? And the media's fueling the fire, and I don't know why they're even allowed to do that. Those guys had to have been lying to be that wrong. We had all the red flags, and we chose to look past them. And this year, they're just not there. This is truly like the expectations are finally justified. And I'm going to say this again next year, when this all blows up in my face. Like, and that's the problem, is that, like, I truly feel it every year. Like, I really feel it. And I don't, it's as embarrassing as anything could be. It's like, I'm in love with a stripper. It is what this team is. It's mind-boggling how they always manage to do this. But I mean, Ben Johnson seems to be beyond legit. I was clamoring for Ben Johnson 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Here we are. He's here. It's real. 3 new starters on the offensive line, including an all-pro. Some question marks still, but beyond solid, which is all I wanted was solid. If Caleb is real, all you need is solid. That's all anybody's ever really had. I mean, you can point to a few years, but we're talking over the course of a career. No one has had the best offensive line every year for their life, right? He just needs the 3 seconds to deliver the ball. If he gets it, we're good. That's my theory. That's all you can actually expect. And I think we got the guys to be able to make that happen, to just have a real regular offense where you hit the back foot, you throw the ball. That's all I want is normal, competent, regular football. If the numbers don't necessarily come, that's fine because we loaded up on defense. The coaching staff, top to bottom, is names at least. See, that's the thing. It's like it all on paper is all there. It's all there. Every position has at least been improved. Is it ideal at defensive end? No, but we don't have a backup as a starter and then a guy who shouldn't be in the league as his backup. We at least have like a low-end starter and then a solid young backup at every position. Like that's our floor has been raised substantially. There's still depth questions in certain parts. You know, the secondary's not. It's probably our best unit overall, but the depth isn't where it necessarily needs to be. O-line depth is questionable, but it's still better than it was last year already. Running back, not ideal, although the Nick Chubb rumors are enticing to me. I would love that. There were a couple guys I thought we should have just picked that we didn't want to for whatever reason. I like that kid Devin Neal out of Kansas because I watched him play one game and he was really good. And I liked that guy the Chiefs got in the 7th round, fucking Trashard. I don't remember what his name was, but the SMU guy because he's fast in compilations. So not that I really did any of the real homework, but those were the picks I was rooting for. So anyway, I feel that it can really finally happen for real. And while I felt the talent was there for Justin Fields, he never truly displayed it in multiple years. What I saw out of Caleb Williams running for his life with a shit roster and the worst coaching staff. The coaching staff is the whole thing, where you just go like, yeah, he has Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, but like, you guys, like, you don't understand. These guys are running stacked routes and like run blocking schemes on pass play. Like, it's just like absurd what's happening out there. That I think with just competent coaching, let alone like the high level stuff that I think Ben Johnson's going to be able to get this team to do. I mean, he's going to develop at an unbelievable rate. And I think, you know, a lot of people who just saw the sack total and the bad numbers, those aren't, I mean, his numbers weren't even really that bad. His completion percentage was kind of low, I guess, but they saw the sack numbers and, you know, the compilation footage of ugly plays and you put it all on the kid And I don't think that paints the picture of what actually happened last season. And I think it showed incredible ability to even do what he did, considering especially the history of this position on this team. I mean, he played as good of a, like, given how ugly it was, there's nothing that could have been done differently. I feel like Cole Kmet, frankly, has been underperforming. So I like the Colston Loveland pick. Would I have liked it? I would have liked a defensive end in the first round since we didn't go offensive line. But whatever. I mean, if the guy's going to really be like a special playmaker, then that's totally fine. Luther Burden, the running backs we were looking at, got taken, so I don't hate that at all. This cements that we're not re-signing Keenan Allen, obviously, so that's whatever. And then to flip our second round pick into 2 more second round picks to end up with 3 second round picks, address the O-line, get this massive motherfucker, and a defensive lineman. So addressing both lines within the first 2 rounds is what I wanted. I would have liked maybe 1 more D lineman, an edge. But we signed a young kid. I think they think they're going to develop him. Dio Odingbo. Great name to say. We'll see if that can happen. But like I said, there's still like Austin Booker on the roster. Javon Dexter's on the roster. Andrew Billings coming back from injury. So with Shamar Stewart added, could be good. We added a linebacker that's very fast. Very, very fast. And there was a corner taken later in the draft as well as an inside O-line help, who, you know, there's always going to be an article comes out about how your 5th through 7th round guy could easily be a starter. And then realistically, you know, they're barely making the practice squad. But we'll see. I mean, there's like Doug Kramer has stuck around for a long time. And he was a late round pick. So that, you know, at least filling in depth with a late round guy, I want to at least have somebody who could maybe, you know, you're rolling the dice. What if this becomes a guy? So they at least, they got the depth we needed, I think. Plenty of more time to make more moves. I'm sure they'll add, you know, various people throughout the season. The off season, excuse me, and then we'll see where this roster ends up. But and I forget that we did sign Grady Jarrett as well. So I mean, yeah, we have a pretty decent depth. I'd like maybe a veteran O-lineman depth piece as well, and I think then we're in like a really great spot. Honestly, secondary depth, you know, not ideal, but you just can't be stacked at literally every position right away. You know, you gotta build it. So, you know, maybe this time next year we're like, Jesus, you know, our second guy at every position is like could start in theory. That's all we can hope for, right? We got a long way to go, and I cannot wait for more off season. I'm gonna be glued to what happens with this team. So Chicago Bears, please don't break my heart again. So far, loving how it's looking. On paper, yet again, this is nuts now. Now it's like, let's fucking turn on the bright lights. Let's see if we're finally real. Because every position, every level, solid at the least, you know, competent at the least. Coaching staff, every position, every level, competent on paper, knock on wood. We'll see. All right, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, I will either be back next week or the week after now. Going forward, we will see exactly how that all shakes out. Not 100% sure. So fluid schedule for the time being till we get a rhythm going. Check out all the links in the description below, which does include, I'll say it one more time, champagnevideo.substack.com. There will be written pieces in companion to this podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Share. Let people know. And remember, I are fat, you are fat, we are fat. Calculator.